How to get ahead of 97% of coaches in 6 to 12 months. Let's dive right in. I'll start with a confusing statement. If you don't know where you don't want to end up, you'll end up everywhere but where you should be. Most coaches don't fail because they are underskilled. They fail because they don't have any filters. They have no filters for whose advice to take, no filters for what kind of business they are actually building, no filters for what kind of life they don't want or they do want. I know I'm giving broad general statements, but it's true for a lot of coaches. They have some general idea where they want to go, but it's not clear enough to a point it becomes a filter, it becomes a boundary, it becomes a standard for them. And this is the reason why when you don't have any filters, you take advice from anyone and everyone. If someone says YouTube funnels are the key, you jump into that. Then someone else says you just need these 4 content pillars and everything will be fine. You start trying that. Then someone comes along and say Insta stories changed my business. Now you think that is the main thing that will finally help you achieve all the desires that you have been thinking for last 3 years. So what happens? You try it for a week, but get bored because you're not seeing any instant results. Or you may see some results for a short period of time and then nothing. You don't stick with that because it wasn't in alignment with you from the get-go. You just jump to trying that thing because someone else told you this is the main thing that's working right now. This will get you all the clients and all the profits you're looking for. But that's not how true progress happens in business or life. And trying these different things, we call it work, but it's just reaction in disguise. It's shiny object syndrome in disguise. And some of you are aware of it, but still out of habit, you keep jumping from one thing to the next thing because you think there's some little piece of information, some little secret that will solve everything for you. You are being carried like a leaf in the wind, blown around by someone's confidence, charisma, conviction, and case studies. And that's not a great strategy to build a sustainable and fully aligned business. So the first step here is negative clarity. If you want to get ahead fast, start by asking what you don't want. Let me share some questions with you. Think about them. What kind of business do I never want to build? Take some time and reflect on these questions. Don't just listen to me and move forward. Next question, what kind of clients do I refuse to work with even if they are ready to give me money? What kind of day-to-day would drain me even if it made me money? What kind of life would make me resent my own success, my own business, my own life? Think about these questions. Because until you define what you are unavailable for, you will keep chasing what looks good on other people. Let me repeat that. Until you define what you are unavailable for, you'll keep chasing what looks good on other people. You'll borrow goals, borrow values, borrow their models, borrow strategies and tactics that were never aligned with you. And that is why you'll see some success and that you come down again. You see some success and then you come down again. Nothing seems to be sustainable. And that is the first reason why. So start with the negative clarity first. Think about these questions. This is one of the biggest reasons why coaches keep looping around the same revenue. They are not lazy, they are not unskilled, they are just not anchored in their truth. They keep changing strategies not because the last strategy failed, but because it was never aligned with them in the first place. So it doesn't feel good to stay consistent. And that is why your revenue goes up, down, up, down. Nothing grows like this, where you are enjoying the business, where you are having fun, where you are making a lot of profits and impact for people. It just goes up and down, up and down. And you get frustrated by it. This is the first reason why. So start with negative clarity. Start by knowing exactly what you will not tolerate anymore. From this day onward, what will you not tolerate in your business? These negative questions will also give you some clarity on what you do want your business, your clients, your day to day, your life to look like. So take some time to reflect on this section. Then next, map your reality. Now that you have gotten clear on what you don't want and some idea about what you do want, it's time to hold up the mirror. Track your day literally for the next 2 days. Write down everything you do in every 30-minute interval. Why are we doing that? Because sometimes we think we are doing all the right things. We are working on our business. We are making sure we are doing revenue generating activities. But when we look at our intervals, what actually got done, we see a different story. We see wasting time on things that don't even matter. We see being around people who don't support our vision. This is same like if you tell someone, track your calories. They're like, no, I eat within calories all the time. But then they log on to their meals and realize they are 800 calories over every single day. Coaches often believe I worked all day on my business. I barely used Instagram. I am creating more than I am consuming. But when they start tracking it, it's hours and hours of distraction. It's numbing. It's avoidance dressed up as productivity. It's YouTube research dressed up as productivity. So this is no different. If you don't map what's real, you'll keep making decisions based on a fantasy, not your reality. So start tracking your day for next 2 days and write down every single thing you're doing in a 30-minute interval. This will help you a lot. This will change your next 90 days or next 6 months. At the end of the 2 days, look at all the activities and ask yourself, did that take me closer to my vision? Or did that take me away from it? Or was it just neutral noise? You can't shift what you don't track. You can't optimize what you won't confront. So that's the second step. Third step is cut the noise, create some space. Now you have tracked your time, you have seen the truth. So the next step is simple, delete everything pulling you away from the life, from the business you said you want. The apps, the tasks, the unnecessary calls, the people, especially the people. Some of you don't need a new offer. You need to limit access to people who dilute your vision, who dilute who you are. People who question your pace, people who plant doubt inside you, people who make staying average feel reasonable. You'll think these are good people at the time because they are comforting you. But in the long run, you'll realize they were not the right people for your vision. And you'll regret that after 5-10 years. So limit access to those people right now if you can't cut down access completely. Cut down what drains, clear what clutters, and suddenly you'll have all the space in your calendar to focus on a few things that matter. There are not a million things you need to do as a coach to make 30 to 50K per month profits. There are only few things you need to focus on. And when you have the space, you'll hear your instincts, your next moves again, the voice you have been drowning in other people's opinions or other activities. Noise isn't just a distraction, it's emotional protection, because if you're always stimulated, you never have to sit with what's missing in your business, in your life. So start prioritizing what takes you towards your vision and start deleting everything else. That's the third step. Fourth step, now that you have cleared some space, don't fill it with more random productivity, fill it with focus. Some of us keep doing what we are good at, but we don't focus on what our actual bottleneck is. So find the one real bottleneck in your business right now, not the imaginary one you might face in 6 months. That's a big issue many coaches go through. They keep solving an imaginary future problem instead of solving and focusing on the current problem that they have. They worry about, what if I get 50 clients instead of signing the 5 clients they need to sign this month? So focus on the real bottleneck of your business. Ask yourself, what is the one thing, if solved, would make everything else easier in your business? What's actually keeping you from moving to the next level? If you don't know what your bottleneck is, that is your first task. Focus on finding that. Get some help around that if you need, but find the real bottleneck. Otherwise, you keep circling around, you keep working hard on the same things that you love doing, but you won't make much progress toward your vision. Don't learn 8 new platforms, don't get 2 new certifications, don't create three new offers, don't take a workshop on something you might need later. That's one of the biggest differences between coaches who succeed fast and coaches who pretty much never succeed. Coaches who succeed fast find the real bottleneck and just focus on that. Then they move forward, find the next problem, the next bottleneck, work on that. And they keep progressing. And this one keeps learning around random things, keeps doing random things that they enjoy but don't result in much progress. And then they think, why is that person growing so much faster even when they are less skilled, less certified than me? This is the reason why. Most coaches are busy learning about problems they don't even have yet, just to avoid facing the ones they do. Learn to resolve the real bottleneck, nothing else. Learn from books, YouTube videos, masterclasses, workshops, and if you want to speed things up, work with a coach or a mentor. But stay focused on the main problem, main bottleneck if you want to progress faster and get ahead of 97% of coaches in the next 6 to 12 months. Make sure everything you consume is about closing that one gap, resolving that one bottleneck. Because progress is not about being busy, it's about being brutal with your focus. Final step, double down and keep going. Once you have identified the right direction, you don't need complexity, although your mind will try its best to make simple things complex. Whatever we went through, it's not complex. Find out what you don't want. That will give you some idea about what you do want in your life and business. Then delete the things that are not taking you towards that. This will create some white space so that you can focus on the right things. Then identify the real bottleneck that's stopping you from reaching the next stage and focus on solving that. These are not complicated things, complex things. These are simple things, but our minds love to complicate simple things. So be aware of that. You need consistency. You need to keep doubling down on what takes you toward your vision. You need to keep deleting what pulls you away. You need to keep solving the next bottleneck and only the next one. And that's how you make years of progress in 6 to 12 months, because you are focused on few high leverage things that actually take your business forward instead of doing 100 random things which don't take you anywhere. And that's it. Not 12-week plans, not new era energy, just quiet, relentless clarity. The coaches who win aren't the ones with the best strategies. They are the ones who refuse to stay distracted. Yes, it's human to get distracted, but when you have the right systems in place, you get back on track faster than other people. And that's how you keep making progress faster. You don't need to reinvent every quarter. You need to refine the core again and again and again. Because with time, it's general nature that we will bring more complexity in. And again, we'll do these steps to make things simple again and to keep making progress. And if you do just that, track honestly, delete ruthlessly, and focus precisely, you will be ahead of 97% of coaches in the next 6 to 12 months. Quietly, powerfully, and most importantly, sustainably. And these things will be in alignment with you because you started at the right point. What you don't want in your business, in your life, in your clients, and what you do want. Because many people end up building a business that was not even their vision. That was the vision of some guru, and they just followed their steps, and now they are regretting the kind of clients or the kind of business they have. So don't end up in that trap. Be clear. Negative clarity will give you that power, will give you that right direction. Because while everyone else is chasing noise, you will be building something that's in complete alignment with you and in the most direct and simple way possible. If this reflection resonated deeply with you, subscribe, stay close. Until then, signing off, NP.